Blah blue blah 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 blue blah 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 blue blah blah blah. All right, thanks guys. That was the Fargo Moorhead men's choir. See you guys later. Exit through the back of the gift shop. All right, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and this is my third character lore video. So out of the way, I'm gonna say I already recorded this once. When I recorded the other two, I recorded 3 in a row. It was a good day. I changed my shirts in between. No one was gonna know. And then I just kind of got on like one of those deleting sprees and boop, gone. So here we go again. Actually recording this on the day it's coming out. So there you go. I might still change shirts. Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco. If you've never been here before, I kind of have a script, but I mostly go off of improv, and I film these in one big, long take, mostly because I really like my flow, my improv flow, and also because I hate editing. I know how to do it, and that's why I hate doing it, because I know how, and it sucks. Maybe I know how. I haven't done it since college. I hated it then. Anyways, so what this series is I'm taking lesser known characters from all of the Song of Ice and Fire lore, and I'm giving them a tiny little spotlight. So this dude is from the Fire and Blood Volume 1 history book, and he's around the time of the first Dornish War. So after Aegon's War of Conquest, they kind of, they give him the king or give him the crown, and he finds King's Landing and all that stuff. And they start to build the kingdom, but Dorne still hasn't been conquered. So they start sending people in Dorne. So this guy is named Wyl of Wyl, and goofy name, but he's a horrible person. So I'm going to say right now, this is not a fun, video. This is about a really nasty guy. So if you don't want that in your head, if you don't want to hear like, what if the Red Wedding was more messed up? It's kind of what's going to happen here. So if you don't want any of that, get out of here now. Like and subscribe before you go. But I don't know what that was. But I don't want to ruin anybody's day with how messed up Wyl of Wyl is. So here's your warning. I'll give one more warning before I get to really the messed up stuff. But here we go. He is from House Wyl. I'll show House Wyl first. So House Wyl is one of the principal houses sworn to the House Martyris Martell. Or wait, Martyris? Nymeris Martell of Sunspear. They are from the Northern Boneway, and one of the very few ways in and out of Dorne. The Wyls have a long fought against the lords of the Dornish Marches, also known as the Marcher Lords of to the north, not of the north, to the north. The family is tunneled beneath their castle, so they have like a bunch of caverns and stuff. They're kind of really hard to take out. Also, they're in the Boneway. Want to go to the Boneway? Why are you doing this bit? We're all about to die. It's my Rick and Morty joke. So yeah, House Wyl is in this kind of really small passage through the mountains to get into Dorne, and they are kind of, they're a little savage. Savage as in the word, like they're crazy. So you can't get any pictures of most of the guys I'm doing these videos on. So I had to figure out, what does Wyl of Wyl look like? And I know it's not accurate, but I went with the movie Bone Tomahawk and the troglodytes from Bone Tomahawk, because they're all about bones and they live in caves and they're all crazy. So that's the picture I went with. It's not accurate. I don't think they look like this, but I went with it anyways. So let's learn about Wyl of Wyl. So Wyl of Wyl, also known as the Widow Lover. Cool nickname. He was Lord of Wyl, at the head of House Wyl during the first Dornish War. This guy was a bastard. Because they are in the Bonaway, I just picture House Wyl like the troglodytes. I know I already said that, although it's super unlikely. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he didn't look like this. I go with it. It's cool. So I got 2 slides to show you guys. So broken down into kind of 2 really notable things he did during the first Dornish War. First one's messed up. Second one's really messed up. So I'll give you a warning again before we get to that. So why he sucks, part 1, the Dornish War. In the first Dornish War, Lord Wyl ambushed forces of Lord Orys Baratheon as they tried to assault the Boneway. Want to assault the Boneway? All right, I'll stop with the Boneway jokes. Orlys? Oh my God, he's Baratheons. Baratheons are Targaryens. Oh my God. Orys, Forys, Borys, Clorys, Morys. I love George, but his Baratheon names, his Valyrian names, and his Targaryen names are Valar, Talar. Like, oh my God. All right, so Orys Baratheon was the possible, most likely, bastard brother of Aegon Targaryen, so he does have Targaryen blood, and he was the first ever Hand of the King. And then when he beat the last storm, Durandon, thank you, to take Storm's End, he became Lord of the Storm's End, and that's when the Stormlands then moved to Baratheon. So he's the first ever Lord Baratheon. And yeah, so Hand of the King. That's all I really needed to say. But, you know, once I go on these tangents, the Bonaway crossed the River Wyl. So where it crossed the River Wyl. By the way, his name was Wyl. He lived in Wyl, and it was the River Wyl. Hey, man, we got to meet up with Wyl. Which Wyl? The house, the seat, the river, or the guy? Yes. Oh. So when they were trying to cross the river, the cunning Dornishmen launched a night raid, raining arrows and rocks and spears from above as the Stormlanders crossed the bridge. The bodies of the invading army blocked the Boneway in both ends. So they blocked the Boneway in both ends so they couldn't get out. And then when Orys ordered his men to fall back, it triggered a rock fall to cut off the retreat. No way forward, no way back. The Stormlanders were massacred, save for Orys and a dozen of the other lords thought worth ransom. So, however, Orys and his bannermen found themselves captured of Wyl of Wyl. I don't know why the word however there. However, even though the ransom was paid, so the crown paid Wyl, good old Wyl, and he's like, nah. And they're like, well, we'll give you the money. And he's like, one more thing. I'm going to need to cut your hand off. So he refused to free them until they all agreed to have their hands cut off so it could never be used against Dorne. So literally their sword hand, their weapon hand. What if you carried like a great axe? You like chop both off? Oh my God. So yeah, so that's his first act, is totally this nasty guerrilla warfare, trapping them inside the Boneway, slaughtering them completely, not letting them retreat or surrender, which is messed up on its own. And then when they get the ransom, he's like, one more thing as I sharpen this axe. Cut his hand off. So, and then after that, Orys Baratheon refused to be the Hand of the King because he said he will not be called the King's Stump because he thought he would dishonor his possible brother for being his Hand of the King when he's got a stump. So Orys is great. I would totally make a video of Orys. He's kind of got a lot more to him than the other people I'm doing these videos on, but he's a great guy. Too bad about his hand. Okay, so we're going to get into some really rough stuff. So your final warning, I don't want this video to be 50% warnings, but why he sucks part 2, the wedding of Old Oak. According to Archmaester Gildane, the Wyl of Wyl turned up uninvited to the wedding of Sir John Caffrin, to the heir of Fontaine, or he is the heir of Fontaine, and Aelys Oakheart, the daughter of the Lord Oakheart, in 12 AC. So this is 12 years after the conquest. Lord Oakheart and most of the guests were slain, and John's wife, so the guy who's getting married, was forced to watch as he got castrated by Wyl of Wyl, and his wife and her handmaids were, I'm not going to say the word, by Wyl's men, and then they were sold off to a Myrish slaver. Holy brutal. So you thought the Red Wedding was messed up. I think this is way worse. Like, this guy was horrible. So not only was this, they weren't soldiers, it's a wedding. So what I hate even more than what this guy did, this fictional character did, is he never got his comeuppance. So you never hear in the book or anywhere about his death. I mean, he died, clearly, but we do know that his son later got captive by Orys. Orys took out all the anger for Wyl of Wyl to his son, who I'm assuming was named Wyl of Wyl II. He probably has a name. I just didn't write it down. So this was during the first Vulture War, which wasn't funded by Dorne, and Dorne wasn't doing it. So when he captured Wyl of Wyl's son, he chopped off all of his limbs. Just a little brutal for good old Orys, but I mean, dude got his hand chopped off. I'd be a little upset too. I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd be like, where's your dad? I want to chop his hand off. But anyways, that's it. That's Wyl of Wyl. How fun. I got to read that twice. All right. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're awesome. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I have more A Song of Ice and Fire lore videos, and I might do more than just little tiny characters like this. So this is a little tiny one. I'm going to work on some characters that will actually be in House of the Dragon. I just don't want to give away any spoilers. That's why I'm kind of doing like ones that are adjacent to House of the Dragon, because I don't want to spoil anything for the show for people who haven't read the book. But I might still do it. I'll just try to avoid spoilers. So I already said, like, subscribe, check out my Guy Lofton and my Flemmet Brax videos I got, and that's it. This is coming out Friday the 18th, and tomorrow, if you're watching this on Friday, please check episode 40 of Let's Talk About Star Wars. Me, Marie Wilson, my co-host on the Star Wars podcast, are playing the Rotten Tomatoes game again. So where you read out reviews from Rotten Tomatoes and the other person has to guess which Star Wars movie they're referring to. Thank you guys, and stay away from the Bone Way. Gee.